Coming October 2nd, the gates open at Smith County's scariest attraction, Nightmare Hollow. Located at 160 Marina Lane, Carthage, Tennessee, every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to 10:30, admission starts at $20 with Fast Pass and VIP options. Nightmare Hollow is a haunted trail located at Defeated Creek Marina and Campground. Recently rebranded from Nightmare on Marina Lane, Nightmare Hollow has made several upgrades for this season, including an additional trail, upgraded scenes, Fast Pass and VIP options, and a gift shop featuring local vendors and merchandise featuring our logo and characters. Come out and see what all the hype is about. Welcome back to Southern Ghost Stories. I'm the American Haunt historian, Allen Sircy. Growing up, I spent a lot of time going to the Florida Panhandle and Orange Beach in Alabama on the Florida line. Not too far from Orange Beach is Mobile. My mother was born there, and my grandfather was stationed there while he was in the Navy many years ago. So today, we're heading to the Gulf Coast, where one of the most powerful warships ever built now rests quietly along the shores of Mobile Bay. During World War II, this steel giant crossed thousands of miles of ocean, survived enemy attacks, endured typhoons, and helped carry America to victory across the Pacific. But according to many who have walked its deck since the war ended, some of its crew may have never truly left. This is a story of the USS Alabama. Now, before we get into the ghost stories, we need to understand the history of the vessel itself. Because like many haunted locations, the legend seemed inseparable from the lives and the deaths that occurred there. The USS Alabama, designated BB-60, was a sixth ship of the United States Navy to bear the name Alabama. She was one of 4 South Dakota-class battleships built during World War II, designed to be smaller and faster than the earlier North Carolina-class vessels while still carrying devastating firepower. Construction began at the Norfolk Navy Yard in Portsmouth, Virginia, on February 1st, 1940. America was not yet officially at war, but tensions around the world were escalating rapidly. Germany had invaded Poland. Europe was burning. Military planners understood that sooner or later, the United States might be drawn into the conflict. The battleship slid down the waves and was launched on February 16, 1942, just a little over 2 months after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Thousands gathered to watch the massive vessel enter the water for the first time. Sponsored by Henrietta Hill, wife of Alabama Senator J. Lester Hill, the ship represented not just a military asset, but a symbol of pride for the people of Alabama. When completed, the USS Alabama measured nearly 680 feet long and displaced more than 44,000 tons when fully loaded. Her main battery consisted of 9 16-inch guns mounted in 3 enormous turrets. Each shell weighed roughly 2,700 pounds and can travel more than 20 miles. In addition to these giant guns, the battleship carried numerous secondary weapons and anti-aircraft batteries designed to defend against enemy aircraft. The crew numbered nearly 2,500 officers and enlisted men during wartime operations. The ship was essentially a floating city, complete with sleeping quarters, medical facilities, kitchens, machine shops, ammunition magazines, and command centers. After sea trials, the Alabama first served in the Atlantic. During 1943, she was assigned to protect convoys and assist in guarding against potential threats posed by the German battleship Tirpitz in northern water. Though she never engaged Tirpitz directly, her presence helped tie down German naval resources. And later that year, the Alabama was transferred to the Pacific Theater, where she would earn her place in history. The Pacific War was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Vast distances separated islands and battlefields. Aircraft carriers increasingly dominated naval warfare, but battleships still played a critical role as escorts and bombardment platforms. The Alabama became part of the Fast Carrier Task Force, one of the most powerful Navy formations ever assembled. She screened aircraft carriers, defended against enemy air attacks, and provided heavy gunfire support during invasions. Over the course of the war, the ship participated in campaigns throughout the Pacific, including operations in the Gilbert Islands, the Marshall Islands, the Mariana Islands, the Philippines, Okinawa, and the Japanese home islands. The Alabama earned 9 battle stars during World War II. And remarkably, despite serving in some of the war's most dangerous combat zones, the ship suffered relatively few casualties compared to many other vessels. And that earned her the nickname the Lucky A. But even lucky ships experience tragedy. And one of the most significant incidents occurred on February 17, 1944. That day, during operations in the Pacific, a catastrophic accident took place in one of the ship's gun mounts. A premature explosion occurred in a 5-inch gun turret. The blast was devastating. 5 sailors were killed instantly. 11 others were seriously wounded. The explosion happened deep within the ship's armored structure, creating a scene of chaos and horror. Crew members rushed into smoke-filled compartments, attempting to rescue their shipmates. Burns, shrapnel wounds, and severe trauma left lasting scars on many who survived. And for the families back home, the telegrams that followed brought heartbreaking news. Those 5 sailors never returned from the war. Although the Alabama would continue fighting and complete her service with distinction, many believe that the emotional imprint of that tragedy remains aboard the vessel today. After Japan surrendered in August 1945, the Alabama participated in occupation duties before returning home. And like many warships after the conflict, she was eventually placed into reserve. In January 1947, the Lucky A was decommissioned. For years, she sat quietly in the Navy's reserve fleet, facing an uncertain future. Many historic warships were scrapped during this period, and it appeared possible for the Alabama that they might meet the same fate. Then something remarkable happened. The cities of Alabama launched a massive fundraising effort to save the ship. Schoolchildren contributed pennies and nickels. Veterans organized campaigns. Civic leaders worked tirelessly to preserve the vessel as a memorial. And their efforts, they were successful. In 1964, the USS Alabama arrived in Mobile Bay and opened as a museum ship the following year. And today, the battleship serves as a centerpiece of the USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, attracting visitors from all around the world. And that's where the ghost stories begin. Museum employees, volunteers, veterans, paranormal investigators, and visitors have all reported strange experiences aboard the ship for decades. And one of the most commonly reported phenomena involves unexplained footsteps. Many witnesses claim they've heard heavy, booted footsteps moving through passageways and compartments when no one else is present. And these often sound like soldiers walking purposely through the ship. People describe hearing footsteps approach from around a corner only to discover there's nobody there. Others report hearing the sounds overhead while standing alone in lower compartments. And given the steel construction of the ship, skeptics point out that metal expands and contracts with the change in temperatures. The vessel also produces natural creaks and groans. Yet, some witnesses insist the sounds are just different. They describe distinct walking patterns, measured, deliberate, and unmistakably human. And then there are the voices. Visitors occasionally report hearing conversations taking place in nearby compartments. Some hear muffled voices. Others describe hearing what sounds like orders being given. A few claim they've heard laughter or brief snippets of conversation that vanish as soon as they investigate. One volunteer reportedly entered an area after hearing what sounded like several men talking, only to discover the compartment was completely empty. Another frequently reported hotspot is the area around the 5-inch gun mount where the fatal 1944 accident occurred. Visitors sometimes describe feeling of sudden sadness or unease while standing near that location. Some claim the atmosphere changes noticeably. A handful of witnesses report sensing an unseen presence watching them. Paranormal investigators who have visited the battleship over the years have captured unexplained sounds and EVP, electronic voice phenomena, in that area, though interpretations remain subjective. Perhaps the most famous apparition associated with the Alabama is the figure of a soldier. Numerous reports describe a young sailor appearing briefly in passageways before disappearing. Now, the descriptions vary, but witnesses often mention seeing someone in a naval uniform standing at the end of a corridor. When they approach, the figure just vanishes. In some accounts, visitors assume the sailor is a museum staff member or some kind of reenactor until they realize nobody could have left the area without being seen. One particularly intriguing story comes from individuals who claim to have seen a soldier working near equipment displays. The figure appears focused on his duties. He's working, seemingly unaware of observers. Moments later, he just up and disappears. Several areas below deck generate frequent reports. The engineering spaces are especially notorious. These compartments are hot, cramped, noisy, even today. During the war, they would have been filled with sailors working long shifts under intense conditions. Visitors sometimes report feeling touched, hearing whispers, or sensing movement behind them when nobody is nearby. The medical spaces also have their share of stories. Though the Alabama wasn't a hospital ship, injuries occurred during wartime service. Some visitors report feeling of heaviness or anxiety near areas associated with medical treatment. Others describe cold spots that seem out of place in the warm Alabama climate. Perhaps one reason the stories persist is the ship itself. Unlike a house or a building, a battleship was home to thousands of people. Sailors ate here, slept here, worked here, celebrated here, feared for their lives here. Many spent years aboard the vessel. For them, the Alabama wasn't merely a machine, it was their world. When people discuss haunted ships, they often wonder whether emotional energy can somehow become attached to a place. Could intense experiences leave behind impressions? Could moments of terror, grief, duty, or sacrifice somehow echo through time? No one knows. But aboard the Alabama, those questions feel especially compelling. The ship survived some of the largest naval operations in history. It carried thousands of young Americans across an ocean at war. Many of those sailors returned home, but some didn't. And perhaps that's why visitors occasionally report sensing a lingering presence. Not something malevolent, not something threatening, just a feeling the ship is still occupied. That somewhere deep within that steel corridor, a watch is still being stood. A sailor is still making his rounds. A crewman is still answering a call of duty. Today, families tour the decks where 16-inch guns once thundered across the Pacific. Children climb ladders and explore compartments where sailors lived through history. Veterans return to remember friends and experiences that shaped their lives forever. The Alabama remains a monument not only to military history, but to the people who served aboard her. Whether the reports of the hauntings are genuine paranormal encounters, tricks of perception, or simply the powerful atmosphere of a historic warship is ultimately for each person to decide. But one thing is for sure. Standing on our decks at sunset, looking across Mobile Bay while the wind whistles through steel passageways built for war, it's easy to understand why so many believe the USS Alabama may still have a crew. So if you enjoyed this episode, check out my book, Ghost Stories and Graveyard Tales, Alabama, where I dive deeper into the haunted history of Alabama. I mean, there's Frankenstein stories in Alabama. There's grave robbing. I saw a grave that had been robbed back in 2024 when I was visiting Montgomery. There's so many great stories in Alabama. Lots of folklore down there. But anyway, Ghost Stories and Graveyard Tales, Alabama. It's available on Kindle. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read the book for free. You can't beat free. In fact, all my books are on Kindle Unlimited. Ghost Stories and Graveyard Tales, New York. Southern Ghost Stories, Franklin, Tennessee. Fear and Folklore, Vampires, which is coming out pretty soon. So speaking of books, make sure you head over to Amazon and pick up my latest book, Pistols at Red River. It's Andrew Jackson Doolan's story. And on September 7th, make sure you go back to Amazon and pick up my newest book, Arsenic Anna. So Arsenic Anna, it's a real story about a real serial killer in Cincinnati during the Great Depression. Anna Hahn was the first lady to be executed in Ohio. It's nuts. It's a crazy story. She was a caregiver. She was a nurse who preyed on elderly men. So yeah, September 7th, Arsenic Anna, it's coming soon. Also, make sure to leave a review and subscribe to the show. That really helps more people to find the podcast. We're trying to get 150 Apple Podcast reviews before October and 100 reviews at Spotify. And thank you to everyone who's already left a review. So, you guys know I have to ask, have you guys been to Monster City Madhouse yet? The new shirt man's a whole lot of fun. And to be honest, I may or may not have given Ben, the owner of Monster City Madhouse, the idea for the shirt. But anyway, I actually did give him the idea, but he'll say I didn't. The greatest cryptid tag team of all time is here. Straight from the deepest forest of cryptomania comes the Monster Powers, featuring the Yeti and the Bigfoot, and an over-the-top tribute to classic 1980s wrestling, monster magazines, and larger-than-life personalities. Packed with colorful retro artwork, outrageous promos, championship gold, and enough cryptid power to shake the woods, this exclusive Monster City Madhouse design is perfect for wrestling fans, cryptid hunters, horror lovers, and anyone who appreciates old-school cartoon mayhem. Whether you're tracking Bigfoot, searching for the Yeti, or just ready to watch the mega monsters run wild, this shirt was made to stand out, brother. So make sure you use promo code SAVE10 to get 10% off your order. That's right, go to monstercitymadhouse.com, use promo code SAVE10 to get 10% off your order. And be sure to like Southern Ghost Stories on Facebook and Instagram. And send us your questions for a future Q&A episode. I actually set up an email, southernghoststories@gmail.com for the Q&As. You guys know I do a Q&A probably every 2 months. It's fun interacting with you guys. I know I throw a lot out there. I got a lot of stories, been a lot of places, and it's fun when you guys can ask me about stuff, because sometimes I can't see the forest for the trees. But yeah, I got all kinds of crazy stories, and I enjoy the Q&As. And don't forget, I'll be in Lexington, Kentucky, October 23rd through the 25th for Scarefest. It's one of the biggest horror conventions in the country. Lots of big-name celebrities like Kane Hodder, Eli Roth will be there signing autographs. It's going to be a really fun show, and make sure you get your tickets. I'll be signing books in the Southern Ghost Stories booth. And I'm actually giving a presentation on vampires. I know I alluded to earlier my new book, Fear and Folklore Vampires, coming out September 21st. And I'm doing a presentation on vampires and kind of the history of vampires, Vlad the Conqueror, a lot of tuberculosis stuff, the New England vampire panic. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you come out there and check it out. Anyway, the presentation's on Sunday. It's a new book is Fear and Folklore Vampires. Comes out September 21st. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm the American Haunt Historian, Allen Sircy, and I'll see you guys later. If you love ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, and everything that goes bump in the night, then mark your calendars for the West Kentucky Paranormal Expo, happening September 26th in Mayfield, Kentucky at the Mayfield Graves County Fairgrounds. This incredible one-day event brings together some of the biggest names in the paranormal community, including Aaron G. Thompson from Netflix's 28 Days Haunted, Jimmy and Jeffrey from Outlaw Paranormal, The Wind of Rose, Josh Morris, Michael Huntington, Rachel Ravensville, and many, many more special guests and speakers. Your admission is just $15, and that gets you an all-day come-and-go wristband so you can explore at your own pace. Browse more than 35 vendors, enjoy delicious food trucks, attend speaker presentations and panels, meet investigators, hear incredible stories, and dive into the worlds of hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and the unexplained. Whether you're a seasoned ghost hunter or just curious about the mysteries that surround us, there's something for everyone at the West Kentucky Paranormal Expo. Tickets are on sale now. For more information, visit West Kentucky Paranormal Expo on Facebook and get ready for one of the most exciting paranormal events of the year. We'll see you in Mayfield on September 26th. Looking for the perfect family fall adventure? Shuckle's Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch is back September 26th at Fiddle Dee Farms in Greenbrier, just outside of Nashville. Bring the whole family for an 8-acre corn maze, hay rides, pumpkins, magic shows, the animal corral, and the super duper pumpkin jump pillows, and tons more fall fun. And you can save $2 using promo code HAUNT26. That's right, $2 off each ticket with promo code HAUNT26. Make some memories this fall at Shuckle's Corn Maze and Pumpkin Patch.